Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast. And in today's video, let's take a look at Marcus Smart's defense the last 2 years to see if he's still quote unquote got it. And when I'm talking about Marcus Smart's defense, I specifically want to highlight his point of attack perimeter isolation defense because we all know who Marcus Smart is as a team defender, as a help defender. He's always going to be scrappy as hell. He's always going to make the right rotations. But the question that I want to answer in today's video is, can Marcus Smart still defend guys out on an island by himself in isolation? Does he still have the foot speed? Does he still have the motor to keep up with some of the best ball handlers, quickest guards, etc., etc.? So that's what we're going to do today. But before I get into the tape, if I could please ask you guys to like this video, comment down below, and most importantly, please hit subscribe on this channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, as it pertains to Marcus Smart, I also just released a Marcus Smart point guard playmaking video highlighting Marcus Smart's underrated point guard skills. Please check that out. I spent a lot of time and editing effort on it, and it's not doing the best right now. So if you haven't checked it out yet, Marcus Smart, third best point guard on the Lakers, third best playmaker on the Lakers. Kind of a controversial statement, maybe not. But yes, please check that video out as well. Also, lastly, if you guys would like to help me out in any small way financially, you can do so via any of the links in the description box below. Patreon, buy me a coffee. That's probably the best because they don't take a cut of my money. Venmo, and a membership. If you guys would like to be a Lakers Legacy member on this channel, you guys will get exclusive perks and exclusive monthly videos for as little as $3.99 a month. That is less than your iced mocha these days, which cost $8 to buy, at least without tip. So please consider any of those things. But if you can't, that's totally fine. Again, just hit subscribe. All right, so with that house cleaning out of the way, let's get into the Marcus Smart point of attack isolation perimeter defense tape to see if in the last 2 years with the Memphis Grizzlies and the Washington Wizards, whether Marcus Smart has still quote unquote got it. So I've compiled about 12 to 14 clips of different defensive sequences involving Marcus Smart in the last 2 years. And I just want to point out again that there's not a lot of tape to go off of with regards to Marcus Smart because he has been quite injured the last 2 seasons, and we're only looking at about like 55 or so games. And so it was hard to actually find clips of Marcus Smart in isolation, especially as it pertains to the Memphis Grizzlies. And if you've seen my Jake LaRavia perimeter defense tape where I highlighted Jake LaRavia's underrated defense out on the perimeter, by the way, go check it out. If you've seen that video, you would know that the Memphis Grizzlies kind of played this egalitarian, switchy sort of defense. Sometimes they played a little zone, a lot of funnel-heavy defense where the point of attack defender would sort of guide the ball handler to the low man towards the help. And a lot of times, Marcus Smart wasn't on the best primary ball handler like he has been in previous years, like he has been in his prime during his defensive player of the year seasons with the Boston Celtics. And so it's kind of hard to get a gauge on where Marcus Smart stands defensively just because he hasn't been that healthy the last 2 years. But with that said, I compiled to the best of my ability about 12 to 14 point of attack isolation-ish sequences that involve Marcus Smart to see, again, whether or not he can still stack up defensively if placed back into that primary point of attack out on an island, get the stop on this guy without any help sort of defense. So keep that all in mind. And without further ado, let's get into the tape. All right, so for this first clip, you're going to see Marcus Smart guarding our boy, Austin Reeves. Again, these two were the subject of my last video about Marcus Smart and his underrated playmaking. Let's watch this sequence unfold at the top of the three-point arc. There's Marcus Smart, fights against the AD screen, strips Austin Reeves at the basket. Gotta love the way he slides his feet, stays with Austin Reeves, and then uses that great timing, his great active hands, and even saves the ball off of Austin Reeves. Great defense. Here he is against CJ McCollum out on the perimeter. CJ is going to try and do his crafty sort of game. Doesn't matter. Marcus Smart is just a great fundamental defender. He just knows how to stick his arm out, stick his leg out, and just be a harasser. And look at him contest that shot to perfection. Missed shot by CJ McCollum. Here's Marcus Smart on Shaedon Sharpe. Shaedon tries to do some fancy behind the back dribble crossover. That is not going to fly against Marcus Smart, who has a 6'9" wingspan. In spite of the fact that Marcus Smart is only 6'3", he's got a long 6'9" wingspan. This is against DeJounte Murray. Let's watch that in slow-mo because I want you to see what happens here. Marcus Smart, here's the screen by Yves Missi. Marcus Smart with the spin move, and then he's going to funnel DeJounte Murray to the help, Jaren Jackson. DeJounte Murray, very skilled athletic guard, spins off of him. It doesn't matter. Marcus Smart grabs the rebound for good measure, but just kind of shows you the spryness in Marcus Smart's game. Here he is, pressuring the ball against Tyrese Halliburton. Again, those active hands, that long 6'9" wingspan, stops Tyrese Halliburton at the half-court line, impedes him the full length of the court, pokes the ball loose, dives for the ball, saves it. Same sort of play here against Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson kind of lacks with the ball. He forgets that Marcus Smart has a 6'9" wingspan, and there he is. Marcus Smart is just easily able to poke that ball loose. Here's Marcus Smart against Scotty Barnes. Now, for these taller ball handlers, it's going to be easy for Marcus Smart to pick them off, especially if they're not paying attention like Scotty Barnes isn't here. 6'9" wing ball handler, Marcus Smart just kind of pokes it loose, gets on the floor, saves the ball. So here he is against Zach LaVine. He's going to try and fight against the screen here. Nikola Vucevic coming up. He sees the screen, fights, has that hand check arm bar there to keep Zach LaVine at bay and still able to contest the jump shot. Here's Marcus Smart against our good friend Luka Doncic. You'll notice that on this first attempt, he sort of stops the drive from Luka Doncic. Now, Luka probably wants the step back three, but Marcus Smart knows that and stays with him every step along the way and is able to contest the shot. Here's Marcus Smart against DeJounte Murray again, navigating the screen against Yves Missi. And so this is a good example of he's not exactly out on an island by himself, but he knows where the help is going to be. He knows where Jay Huff is, and he's riding DeJounte Murray to the basket and making sure that he's funneling him to Jay Huff. Here he is against Zach LaVine. He's going to fight across the screen, come across the screen, and again, he knows Jaren Jackson is right there. He's also prepared to rotate on Jalen Smith if need be. Okay, this play, Marcus Smart is going to be matched up against DeMar DeRozan because DeMar DeRozan absolutely eliminates Scottie Pippen here with an armbar, shoves him away. Marcus Smart is up to the task. This just shows his physicality once again. Maybe he's lost a step or two, but he is willing to fight against, 6'7" wings. In this play, you see him get the ball, showing that physicality against DeJounte Murray, uses his 6'9" wingspan to strip the inbounds. All right, so this play against Luka Doncic, I just kind of wanted to, it ends up in a PJ Washington 3. But I just wanted to point out that this is 33 seconds left on the shot clock in the fourth quarter of a very close game. And who do the Memphis Grizzlies have guarding Luka Doncic? It's still Marcus Smart. So I just wanted to point that out, that even as old as Marcus Smart is, he's still defending the best player, the best perimeter player in clutch time situations. All right, so these next few clips to end this session are just some questions and concerns that I have about Marcus Smart. Now, if you notice in this play, he kind of clips his heel. That kind of gets him off on the wrong foot, like literally already. And Luka is just able to hit this, step back three. So that's not exactly his fault. But in this next play, you will see how an athletic, speedy guard like DeJounte Murray, because of the way that Marcus Smart presses up on guys so closely, like a quick crossover, change of pace, change of direction can kind of get him off kilter. And then for this play, again, this is kind of like the Memphis Grizzlies funneling scheme where, You can tell that Marcus Smart is just riding DeJounte Murray's hip there, and he's angling to try and get the strip. But he knows Jay Huff at the end of the day is going to come in for the help. So, all right, I know that kind of went pretty quickly. So, why don't we just run through the whole sequence again, and I can talk over it and add any more input that I wasn't able to the first time around. So, here he is against Austin Reeves, bumps him, uses his 6'9" wingspan. Nice save out of bounds. That's an Anthony Davis screen. He fights against it. There he is, able to strip the ball from Austin Reeves and impede him from the basket, and almost hits him in the balls. Next play, again, CJ McCollum crowds his space, doesn't give him any space whatsoever. Nice contest on the jump shot. Look at how he presses up on him. He's got that hand check arm. He's moving his feet. Crouched down low. He's swiping. He's just being annoying as hell, which is what you love about Marcus Smart. Here he is, Shaedon Sharpe. That is a rookie move. You can't be doing that type of stuff against Marcus Smart. He sees it. Easy strip for him right there. Takes the ball the other way. Again, you gotta love that spin move. A defensive spin move by Marcus Smart. Very fitting and on brand for him. Sees the screen, spins off of it. Jaren Jackson does his job, keeping DeJounte at bay. Marcus Smart's back there. DeJounte spins off of him, but right into Jaren Jackson. And as you notice, Marcus Smart switches onto Yves Missy, and that's how he's able to box out and get the rebound. So overall, great sequence from Marcus Smart. And here he is. This is a true point of attack isolation pickup on ball. Switches with Scottie Pippen, and then pretty much keeps Tyrese Halliburton below the half-court line until he's able to poke it away, dive on the floor, and save it. This one, you got to lax Jordan Clarkson, Jordanclarkson, strips it from him, and he's able to take it down the other way. Here's Scottie Barnes. Nope, you can't be that lax. You can't be that inattentive around Marcus Smart because he is always locked in and focused. He's going to strip that ball from you, grab it off of the floor, hustle for the ball, 50-50 ball. Here he is against Zach LaVine. Stops the initial drive, curls around the screen. Good help by Zach Edey. Marcus Smart with the great contest once again. Here he is against Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, patented step back three. Marcus Smart is able to contest the shot without fouling. He likely knows that this is what Luka wants to do. And it's funny, against this game, against the Dallas Mavericks, Marcus Smart was primarily tasked to guard Luka Doncic and not Kyrie Irving. So I think that's another thing to keep in mind with regards to where Marcus Smart is in his career in terms of the types of guys he's guarding. It's like typically they'll play him up and have him guard bigger, more physical dudes. Although here you see him guarding, a guy like DeJounte Murray who's still pretty quick and athletic. Here he is coming off a screen, following and tracking Zach LaVine, forces Zach LaVine to give the ball up. That's just great defense. Jaren Jackson is also there, obviously, but Marcus Smart knows that and funnels Zach LaVine into that help. Here he is picking up DeMar DeRozan. Bump, doesn't matter. Keeps his ground, stable base. He is that fire hydrant, bully ball guard who can stand up guys who are 6'7", 6'8". Just great defense by Marcus Smart there. Here he is, stealing the inbounds pass away from DeJounte Murray. Look at that physicality, pushing off. Doesn't get called for the foul because he has that type of DPOY reputation. And once again, against Luka Doncic, he gets hit in the face, doesn't get the foul call, and it results in a PJ Washington 3, which ended up costing the Grizzlies the game, I believe. But again, three-point game, 30 seconds left. Who's on Luka Doncic? It's Marcus Smart. So even the Memphis Grizzlies at this stage of Marcus Smart's career still sicked Marcus Smart on Luka. And maybe they didn't have a choice because Marcus Smart was like, I'm taking Luka no matter what. It ended up burning the Memphis Grizzlies, but we'll see, We'll see where Marcus Smart is in his career next season. if the Lakers choose to put him on the best primary ball handler night in, night out. And so you're seeing, yeah, great offensive players are going to be able to exploit how close up Marcus Smart plays defensively. Again, there's that nice crossover by DeJounte Murray, just had a bad pass there. But yeah, I'm not sure where Marcus Smart is laterally anymore. I know he's going to give the effort. I know he's going to be physical. I know he's going to be tough, but can he still keep up with guys who are very shifty like DeJounte Murray? And what happens when Marcus Smart, you know, concedes drives more often and goes for the funnel instead of being able to just impede his man right off the bat. All right, so those are the clips of Marcus Smart in quote unquote isolation, perimeter, point of attack defensive plays over the last 2 years. Again, there wasn't a lot to glean from because mostly Marcus Smart was sort of a chaos agent who did a much better job, I feel like, being a pest on the weak side, being a pest as a help defender, as a great connective team defender. So it's, again, hard to gauge where Marcus Smart is at in his career because the last 2 years he's been ravaged by injuries. And even when he was playing, the Memphis Grizzlies had so many good defenders that they didn't necessarily task Marcus Smart with the toughest assignment night in, night out. Although, again, you saw him taking on the Luka Doncic assignment late. But he has not had to do this job of being the best perimeter point of attack defender for a team since he was defensive player of the year like 2 or 3 years ago, since he was with the Boston Celtics. So it will be interesting to see what happens if the Lakers task him for much of the game to try and harass the best offensive ball handler on the opposing team. Will they have him pressuring 90 feet up the court? I hope not, because I hope we realize that, we want to reserve those situations for the playoffs. We have to sort of conserve Marcus Smart's energy. I know he's not like a super old player, but the mileage that he has sort of tacked on to his body, how hard he's played all of these years, you have to imagine that it's, taken a toll on his body. And we've seen that the last 2 years with all of the knick-knack injuries that have piled up for him. So with the Lakers, does Marcus Smart still have it as a perimeter defender? I would say yes, but in bursts. And if the Lakers are relying on him to be defensive player of the year Marcus Smart with the Boston Celtics, we may get that for a short period of time, but I think in the long run, that's eventually going to sputter out. And the best course of action for the Lakers is to flank Marcus Smart, build a really good and strong defensive scheme with a lot of players who know where to be, know where to help, know where to converge. Because if we at least have a good skeleton and base for Marcus Smart to work off of, that's when we can really utilize Marcus Smart's freneticness, his chaos agentness, how physical he is, how he still has that motor. Because again, we don't necessarily want to rely on Marcus Smart just going at 110% each night, trying to stop X best offensive player out on an island. It's going to have to work in conjunction. The defense is going to have to work in conjunction with one another because I think at this stage of his career, that is the best way to maximize how good of a defender Marcus Smart still is. In a pinch, in a last game scenario situation, can Marcus Smart still be that defensive player of the year, get one stop for you, perimeter isolation defender? Yes, I think so. But again, I don't think you want to rely on Marcus Smart to be that for you night in, night out in an 82-game regular season, and you want to make the playoffs as well. We have to be smart about how we utilize Marcus Smart. All right, with that said, that will do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please do me a favor and like this video, comment down below, and most importantly, please hit subscribe. And again, if you are able and willing, please also consider donating to my cause in any small way financially. Buy me a coffee, Patreon, or become a member to the Lakers Legacy channel. I promise I will make it worth it for you guys. And yeah, with that said, This has been Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.